Right, here we go. All right. Hello, hello, hello. This is Live with Michelle Bama. We talk about health, wealth, and spirituality. And we are here with Mr. KT.
Hey, jazz hands.
Kendrick Thomas. Kendrick Thomas, he is the man.
Hey, I got
Woo!
the call.
Tell the world who you are and what you do in the world.
Yes, my name is Kendrick Thomas, and I am an educator of, let's see, 2001, over 20 years of education dealing with students. Wow, do media, so do a podcast, Education Unleashed, that we go out more of. We got a nonprofit that we work with students, which is called the Bright Futures Initiative. Incorporated, and so we do tutoring in apartment homes for underserved kids. So a lot of giving back, a lot of day-to-day grind of dealing with kids, parents, and families, and that's my life.
How did you even get there? I mean, because one of the things that we know about the school system and being in the school system for a long time is there's not a lot of men, number one, and there's definitely not a lot of Black men. So, how did you get into this educational space?
Oh, wow. I mean, for me, it was just going back and looking for places where I found like instant gratification, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I did a para job where I was just coming in. I was a paraprofessional at alternative school, and like I taught this kid how to read.
Mm-hmm.
And like I came back and he remembered everything we taught, like we worked on the day before. And I said, "Oh my God, look what happened." And so that was really the small piece that ignited it.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore becoming like working from a paraprofessional all the way up to a school administrator, like a principal. It was just really just that one piece that got me into it. And the road was hard because like you said, it's not that many men, it's not that many Black men. So a lot of the times I was always well, you just go sit with these bad kids or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I wasn't able to
They
grow a
want
lot.
you to do the behavior.
Yeah, that's it. So then, so outside of that, I just kept working my way up, and then finding those great mentors that would really pull me out of those situations, kind of give me some tidbits. So that's how I got from there to here. But it all started with just that one piece of just being able to kind of help that kid and see it come back like the next day.
Seeing that light come on. Isn't
Yeah,
that what great teachers do?
yeah.
They see that light come on and then they say, "Oh, let me step a little further in there. I see
Let
that
me
there's
let
a
me
crack."
go. That's it. That's it. So now how many more lights can I do? And so to be able to be doing this so long and be able to like teach my kids or something of that nature, yeah, it's really something that helps you go along. So I don't have kids of my own. So being able to kind of get that fulfillment all through life, I think it helps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you talked about mentors, how important is it for especially Black boys to have mentors in their life?
Yes. So simply put, I don't want to sound cliche, but we can never be what we can never see. Right. And so
Come on now.
hey, I'm just saying. So not only when I think about the mentoring, I think of it. It can be me. I have to be the person, if so, to take up the lead on it. But then not everybody wants to be a teacher, right? So
Right,
then I got
right.
mechanics, I got AC people, I got plumbers, I got professors. We gonna try to cover across the board. But I think when you think of mentoring and what you want kids to get out of that, you gotta have the importance of having people from all walks of life to be able to reach
Mhm.
those kids. I had one program that I worked at when I was at the elementary school, my Great Boys program. And so we were the only elementary school that got a chance to take students to our career center, right? So they get to see the CTE. And it was because the first day that I meet with my boys, I asked them, "Do you plan to live till you 21?" And
That.
so if you do, what will you be doing? And that's how I
Mhm.
kind of get the feedback that sets us for the course of the year. And one of the boys who mom was really involved said mechanic. And so I broke hell to be able to get him over
Mhm.
to see the mechanic shop. And so I'm hoping like when they did the news story on it, that was one of the parents that they featured. So it was something good.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
As we think about that, as we think about sowing those seeds and planting those seeds in the next generation, and I heard you say that as you are picking mentors, you're picking them from all walks of life because everyone's not going to be a doctor, everyone's not going to be a lawyer. How do you encourage kids to go into those spaces that sometimes are not the most quote unquote glamorous jobs there are? They're not the ones that people are really saying, "Oh, I want to be a basketball player. I want to be a football player." You know, they always have these aspirations. And we're almost done with this time, so I'm gonna hold this over. I want you to think about it. But
Yes.
how do we really get kids to understand there are other things to do
Yes.
besides the lawyer, doctor, the rapper, the uh, football player, the basketball player? This is
Mhm.
live with Michelle Van. We're here with KT, Mr. Kendrick Thomas, and we will be right back.
Hey.
We are here, and we are talking to Mr. Kendrick Thomas. And we were talking about how do we get kids to understand that there's more than being a rapper, being a football player, being a basketball
Mhm.
player in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I think one of the big things of being an educator, of being successful in the classroom, is being able to apply those lessons to real life, right? Like, how does this relate to me? And so when you are, so right now, once again, like I say, with those pictures, they don't see a lot of those other professions in the hood, right?
Right,
We know they there because we use the bathroom, we do all these pieces,
right.
into those pieces, but they don't know anyone like that. And so I remember a big part of during the pandemic, right? And we had this program called Artists and Scholars. And so
Mm-hmm.
we, once again, that's just saying not everybody going to college, not everybody going to trade school. How do we combine both? And so we had the pandemic, and to be able to pull up how much plumbers were making, to be able to
Mm-hmm.
bring in I mean, not the pandemic, I'm sorry, the freeze. This was during the time
Mm-hmm.
we had that big freeze, and so
Mm-hmm.
everybody pipes burst in Houston. But being
Right,
able to pull up how much they were getting paid, like how much, how, so it was like, okay, everybody may not be doing it, but look at how much you're getting paid an hour. And
that
so because everybody now got to glorify the bag, like the hustle culture. And so
right.
then being able to just show them guys, so like everybody, and also putting up real facts, right? You got to put
Mhm.
that percentage. Okay, let's look at 10 of us. One, maybe out of y'all is going to play professional football. Maybe
Right.
two, if we lucky. So then what are the rest of y'all? And those were the type of conversation that I had to have,
Mhm.
whether they were high school kids or you were 9 years old.
Right.
Yes.
Uh, I used to have we had a math teacher, and he used to always tell kids, "Oh, you know, you're gonna keep on not being able to do this math. You're gonna be a trash man." And I said, "Brown, have you looked at how much trash men make? They make more than we do.
I'm telling you.
Don't
I'm
tell them
telling you.
that."
Yes.
That's
Yes. I'm
the
telling you.
motivational factor.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
And then
they
so,
look it up,
they
they
got to see
make more
it.
than we do as teachers.
Yeah, yeah, and probably for a long time. And so, but the biggest piece, like I say, is just getting those kids to see that because they don't know. And then when they do know, they don't know the specifics. Well, because they just don't, I don't know anybody that do AC work or something like
Right,
that. Yeah.
right. You just assume that it happens.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
it. And so when you get to
Um,
meet the person, yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
And when we think about that, when we think about how we have those conversations with kids in school, when we think about how we are in those spaces of mentorship, when we think about how we progress with them, what are you seeing? One of the things that we hear statistically is that, fathers are not in the lives of their children. But one of the statistics that we look at is that more Black fathers are actually in their kids' lives than are not.
Most definitely.
And so, as we start to have those conversations, what are you seeing in schools with these young men?
Yeah. Yeah, I am seeing fathers that are in the lives and maybe not in the household per se,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
still, it still may be a well, I'm at work, can you call his daddy? And daddy gonna come up there or
Right.
something like that. So seeing a lot of those pieces, even when we're doing like our donuts with dads or all of these pieces, we got people actually coming out that want to be a part of it. I did a program called Man Up where we
Mhm.
went to different schools and we brought in dads, and it was only for dads and their sons, and I would have like tie time sessions or
Mhm.
all of these kind of sessions where everybody would be able to be together. But we would have over 100 families, right? And so it's just that male and that son, that uncle and that nephew. So all of the time we seeing them, and we got the data to prove that they are there.
Yeah. And even if it's not dad, and I think you
Hmm.
brought a great point, if it's not dad, who are the surrogates that are apart? So that uncle, that grandfather,
Yeah.
that deacon from the church who, maybe isn't biologically related, but said, you know what, I see some potential in that young man and I want to mentor. And not
Yeah.
in any weird sorts of way, but in just I've raised my kids and now I have time to sow into someone else's life. How
Yeah.
do you see that played out in your life?
Yes. For me, I'm a person, I've never met my dad before. Like my mom was 15 when she had me. So who raised me was my great granddad. And
Mm-hmm.
so luckily, there was so many great values. I believe I am where I am because of being raised by my great grandparents, mostly. So yeah, that's how it played out. That really drove me to do the work that I do today. And of course, it was hard, right? I had to go through a lot of work with my therapist when I came to certain pieces, and I wonder why this part of my life wasn't cultivated, or I didn't understand this, or I thought this way because my friends were the people that was pouring into me. Because Granddad still died when I was 12 because he was older, right?
Right.
So all of these pieces, yeah, I mean not 12, but like maybe like 17, 18. I'm sorry, maybe like
Mm-hmm.
17, 18 when he passed. But still, those were my years, right? I just got ready to go to college. And
Right.
so then all of those pieces, that's the way it play out for me is really just putting some fire under me to understand what these students go through that don't have that male in their life to be
Mm-hmm.
able to bring that mentor and that student together some kind of way.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is Live with Michelle Van, and we will be right back. We are back. We are back. We are talking to Kendrick Thomas. Let's talk about that because you talked about the fact that you've worked through some of these things with your therapist. And for some Black men to say therapy, immediately they begin to cuss a little bit in the back of their throat.
Mhm.
They're like, what?
Yeah.
Therapy?
Yeah.
We don't need to go
My
to
business.
therapy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Mhm.
Why was it important for you to go that route with your mental health?
Because I kept sabotaging, like, and so now I'm in school. I've been working special education. I was a special ed teacher, and now I'm really getting a chance. So I become a behavior interventionist. I was successful at teaching, like in adaptive behavior classes. So all of these pieces, now I'm understanding. I was at in College Station, right, and so I was about to
Mhm.
go to Texas A&M and M and just get the doctorate, but it would have been in adaptive behavior, so I would have had to be full time. So that's the
Right.
only reason I didn't do it, but that's how much I was into it. And so as I'm looking at these pieces, I'm like, man, I'm self-sabotaging my own relationships. I see it because
Mhm.
I'd say when the kids are doing it, I know what's happening. I can see it with them. So I just kind of started looking in and seeing like the pieces I was missing, seeing the pieces of, like I say, the way that I thought about things. And so
Mhm.
I wanted to kind of get, it started with just looking for a non-biased person to just
Mhm.
download to.
Mhm.
But then after that, finding somebody who could ask the right questions to really get what I needed out.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And I think that is such a key point in the fact that when we ask good questions,
Mhm.
we can get a good output.
Yes. Yeah.
And who in our lives are asking us those questions that hold our feet to the fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was rough.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Hmm.
And as you have done that, as you've been in those spaces where you've been getting those good questions and you've been able to really process through, how do you share that with other people? Not
Uh,
necessarily your process, but
yes.
why it's important to do that.
Well, I try to share it. That's a good question. The way I share it is kind of by the way that I act. Because the biggest piece, like I say, was me sabotaging relationships. That was the piece that I was like, man, I'm never gonna get married like this. It was crazy. And so, but it was because all of my friends, they didn't, I don't know how serious they took it. And so then I didn't know anything better. And so after that, now I kind of try to lead by example in what I do. Even when I'm talking to the kids, just telling them. in therapy. So like I consider my mentor groups almost like a therapy session, right? Where we create that safety, we create that vulnerability, and we tell them it's okay for this because I think the earlier that we build that in them, that it's okay to be vulnerable. I always tell them like vulnerability is a superpower, right?
It is.
I tell them that, but then also just understanding what a safe space look like and what it doesn't. I do also, like I said, we had the men's group, the Brothers on One
Mhm.
Mission. And so not only did I apply that with kids, but these are grown men, a lot of them older than me, but still understanding to create that safe place, to create that vulnerability. And so that's how I kind of get that out through the practices that I was taking through.
Amazing. You have TV, um, KTTV.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that media and why media is so important in what you do.
Yeah. So for me, I lost my brother to suicide
Mhm.
May 31st. And a week before that, one of my best friends died. And so I was calling, I was looking for her. And so by the time that I learned that she was dead, her message went to her cousin's message went to the box where she had to be approved for for me to get the message. So I missed the funeral, missed everything. Then my brother died a few days later. So the whole month of June, I kind of just grieved, right? And just got
Mhm.
myself together. July 1st, 2019 was my birthday. I said, I got to get this out. And so that's how I started with the podcast. It was like me, my friend on his porch with a microphone in between him. But it was all about somebody else is going through what I'm going through. How can I get the message out? How can I bring people in to help talk them through what they're going through? And it's almost like free therapy. Like it's a free masterclass for me and other people, as we bring people on. And so that's what became the driving force behind it. And yeah, so all these years later, whether it's education, it's finance, it's health and wellness, I just try to put it out there so people can get it for free.
That is amazing. Where can they find that?
Oh, so if they go to kttv.com, KTTEEV.com, they'll be able to see kind of what the mission is, what we do, but they'll also be able to catch the episodes. But also Apple, anywhere you can get podcasts from, they can just search in and they'll find it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing is that sometimes the reason people shy away from getting help is because we don't have enough conversations about it to make it more normalized. We normalize a lot of things that are not healthy.
Yeah.
We don't normalize the fact that it is healthy for us to talk. It is healthy for us to process it. It is healthy for us to get some of that stuff out.
Yeah. You better.
Yeah. This is Live with Michelle Van. We will be right back. Yeah, you better get it out.
I'm telling you, because it'll eat you up. Woof. And then next thing you know, you done blew up at work and got fired.
That
Just
part.
seen it happen.
All right, all right. We are back. We are back. When we were on break, we kind of had a little chuckle on the fact that you do have to get that out because if you
Yeah.
don't, it'll blow up in places that you didn't intend for it to blow up, and it'll take you out further than you ever intended to go. Um, when we think about education, when we think about mental health, what are you seeing in schools around this piece of mental health these days?
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of course, you have your students with like your ADHD, your ADD, all of those pieces, right? And so a lot of that is going now where parents say, I don't want to put them on the medicine.
Mhm.
So of course that creates that cycle of struggle. I can't pay attention. I can't learn. I get the test. I can't pass. I can't concentrate. So it creates that cycle. So I'm seeing a lot more of that go undiagnosed. But also, me and my principal talk about this all the time. Right now, we got kids where they're not really being treated for mental illness. Like I'm starting to see like more schizophrenia in schools, right?
Mm,
Starting to see more yeah, like it's just more deeper mental episodes, but the biggest
mhm,
being like schizophrenia, like kids are talking to themselves. I'm hearing voices, more depression, seeing a lot of depression, and so we do have people that are mental health counselors as in the school. We do refer them, uh,
mhm,
out to outside sources. But the thing is, mom has to also believe in those sources, because
Yeah.
a lot of the times these babies are struggling mentally, and of course we're the school, so we're gonna try to help as much as we can. But yeah, I'm seeing more and more cases of, and I guess now because I'm working with the older kids, it's developed now because I've
Yes.
been all these years, and
Hmm.
so yeah, this is my third year in high school, but this is the year I've seen it the most,
Hmm.
where kids truly have like those severe mental issues.
Are we seeing that it may be tied to that time of being isolated during COVID?
Oh, I wouldn't say, only for the simple fact. Let me see, when was that? 2020. I
Hmm.
wouldn't have had. So of course, these kids by then they were middle school and up, so they was outside. But so I don't know for sure. Um, yeah. The thing is, I'm at the alternative school, right? And so then
So
it's
maybe more social media and being on
I think a lot of it is
a
that.
lot.
Yeah, because I can't. And when I say I'm at the alternative school, I don't have a big tie to their family where we've been working together through behavior problems that got them to the alternative school. So
Right, right,
I
right,
don't have that background of what's happening with mom until we have a blow up, and now I meet mom while you here. But
right.
but I will say contest to the social media.
Hmm.
That part is taking them out. It's taking them out. Is doing depression because they are comparing themselves to other people. But other than that, it's creating so much violence against each other. They
Mm,
jump in that inbox, and then the next day they come handle it at school. And so now we got a whole big fight, and it's over somebody said on Instagram we know nothing
right,
about. Yeah.
right. And we have to have those conversations of the fact that you realize that whatever you put on social media does become a legal document.
Yeah, yeah. They doing good because the thing is, mama gonna screenshot and then she gonna bring it up to that school. So that's a lot of what's happening. But yeah, that social media, and when I tell you it's creating that depression, like girls just cry, because other girls be in the inbox just bothering them, or talking about their guy, or other students are afraid because they've been threatened in their inbox, and so now it's a bullying situation where the student is afraid the whole time, and then dwells off into that depression, that scariness, that isolation, and
Hmm.
and it's all from just that kid being in that inbox every day and them never telling anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
So we have a lot to pray about.
yes.
We have a lot to continue to do as we look at mentoring program. If somebody says, "Hey, I like this guy. I would love for my kid to be able to connect with him and to be able to be a part of some of these programs," how do they do that?
Yeah, so you can go to the website, kttv.com. That's KTTEEV.com. You can leave me a message there or email me, kttv@gmail.com. And we can definitely set it up where we can work on working with students because we do have independent programs. Yeah, so I'll mentor and all of that. So yeah, just give me a contact.
And tell them what school district you're in.
A-Leaf ISD. So been there. Woo, woo. We going on what since 2013 when I moved back from College Station.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's, if you're in that Houston area and you are saying, hey, I want to be able to get into some of those in-person sessions, connect. If you want to get into some of those virtual spaces, go ahead and shoot him an email. But this is a great time. And so KT is an amazing mentor and podcaster. And so I encourage you, moms, if you are a single mom and you're, struggling to figure out what to do with your sons, great mentor, great opportunity for you to connect with him and to connect with the podcast because sometimes what you listen to while you're driving down the street,
Mm,
while we don't always know it,
yeah.
it's affecting and it's infecting what's happening on the inside of their life. And so sometimes riding around with those podcasts going and it's speaking into the life of your young son may be exactly what he stands in need of when there's not physically a person in front of him who can help. So
Yeah.
think about that. Think about what you can do. KT, what's the last thing that you would like people to know, or any other things that you want them to
Mhm.
know that in ways that they can connect or get from you?
That's it. Just follow me all social media at KTTV, and just reach out. But moreover than that, be patient with yourself. That's pretty much it.
All right. This is Live with Michelle Van, where we talk about health, wealth, and spirituality. And y'all know what I'm going to tell you. I love you, and there is nothing that you can do about it. And we will see you next week. Bye bye.